we are going to discuss the next most important topic of our workshop, which is location scouting. So after all these years of experience, what I can tell you is that a location can either make or break a business. If you have the right location, you can basically start getting a lot of work in a very short amount of time. And if you don't have the right location, you can end up spending a lot of money on marketing, trying to pull a lot of people to your workshop and maybe delay your entire process of profitability. There is no doubt that if your work is good and if your customers are loyal to you, they're still going to keep coming back to you again and again, no matter where you put your shop. But since you're doing this for the first time, you are in that phase where you have to build your own customer base. You have to build your own loyalty base with your customers so that they can start coming to you wherever and whenever you open shop. All right. So what are the main points that we have to consider before looking out for a location? Let's take a small introduction first. All right. So the first point is that, a good location is key to determining the success of your business. The question that arises right now is, what is a good location? Does it mean that you have to be on a main road? Does it mean that you have to be, paying very heavy rentals? Does it mean you have to be very close to where people work, or do you have to be close to where people stay? So these are multiple questions that will come into your mind. But before you come to that point, what you need to understand is that if you are going out to look out for a location, you first need to know what you need in the first place, right? If you don't know clearly what you're looking for, how are you going to find it? So this module here is going to discuss and tell you everything that you need to know about knowing how to find and what to look for in a good location. A lot of people ask me, Pratik, what is the ideal location for a service center? So I give them a very nice painted picture of what an ideal service of what an ideal location looks like. Okay, I tell them it should have this, it should have that, in this much amount of rent, with this much amount of square feet space and whatever. But you know what, guys, the reality is an ideal location is just a myth. It does not exist. Okay, there is no way that you can find a location which is going to be the best, because if you look harder, you will always find better options. It's a never-ending cycle. There is no end to it. So the only way to go around this is basically first understanding what you exactly need, and then figuring out if you're able to get what you need. And there are going to be certain points where you might have to compromise a little bit left and right here and there. The game is in striking the right balance between what you need and what you're getting. You cannot get a prime property on a main road with very less rentals, right? You cannot get a property which is built to your specifications as per your requirements so that you don't have to do any alterations inside the property. You cannot get a property which is huge in size and accommodates all of your future expansions but charges you rentals for your current scope of work that you're doing over there. So guys, an ideal location is basically a myth. All right. So what we are going to do here is we're going to understand what are the things that we are looking for, and then see how many of these criteria are matched into the properties that is there in front of you. All right. So we are now going to look at our requirements before we head out, and what are we going to do that. But before you head out and do that, at the same time, parallelly, what you also need to do is you need to genuinely research the entire market as much as you can in terms of the rentals of what the people are paying over there, right? You need to be able to go and speak to random shopkeepers, random showroom owners, their owners, the business owners, whatever, get an idea of where they have located their location, how much is the square feet of the area that they're having, and how much rental are they paying. I have seen situations wherein we have been in situations where I went and looked out at a property. It was a 1,200 square feet space and the owner was asking me for a 45,000 rupees rental. But it was luckily that I was able to just research and go and meet with the nearby shops and owners and see what rentals they are paying. And later I came to know that I can definitely get a reasonably sized space in that same locality for as low as 30,000 rupees. So then that gave me the negotiation power to sit with the owner and tell him, okay, sir, if this neighbor guy is paying 35,000 rupees, that guy is paying 35,000 rupees, then why are you charging me 45,000 rupees? In that way, we were able to negotiate with him better, come to better terms of agreement, and thereby be able to take a right decision in taking the right property. A small saving of 10,000 rupees in a monthly rental might not look big to you right now, but over a span of a year, it's almost 1.25 lakhs. So that's the kind of money you'll be able to save if you strike the right balance of the right property in the right rental range. Never overpay your rentals, because in this business, your rentals are going to be the primary expense that you're going to be seeing. The biggest contributor of your monthly fixed expenses is going to be your rentals. So you might want to be as sure about that you're paying the right price for the right place in the right location. All right, cool. So let's take a look at the next